Hey, everybody, we are live. At least I hope I'm live. If I'm not, nobody can really tell. By the way, I'm on the lovely Carnival Spirit, headed to Saint Martin, which is an island that is half French and half Dutch. And their motto, "We'll surrender if you pay half."
Since 2020, we've done plenty of virtual comedy shows online, and though the virus is slowing, we'll keep going because we've still got lots of hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin.
Welcome to Virtual Comedy Show. It's a Zoom meeting with jokes. So please turn on your camera, turn on your mic, unless you have barking dogs or a rabid moose in your living room, in which case, please mute yourself for Pete's sake, and let's have some fun.
It's the Virtual Comedy Show, starring Steve Goodie and Brad Tassell. Tonight, Steve and Brad welcome comedian
Marc Yaffee,
plus funny songs from
Carla Ulbrich,
and a Patti melt from Patti Vasquez, and much, much more. Now, please welcome Brad Tassell.
Hey, I'm still here, everybody. How you doing? I hope you can all see me. I can't see anybody, but I'm saying hi to everybody. I'm Brad Tassell. This is the Virtual Comedy Show, and we are about to have our 3rd anniversary of this show. Can you believe it? It's coming up here in a couple weeks, right? Okay, yep. Yeah, you need to make a little noise so I can hear everybody because I can't see. So unlike the COVID vaccine, this show never worked. So keep going. We're still there. But Bill Gates is still following you when you watch. So there you go. So we have a super duper show this week. We have the return of one of the nation's funniest and most popular comedians, even though he wouldn't say that, I bet. And Mark, you're booked like 4 years ahead, aren't you? You're like 4 years ahead. It's Marc Yaffee, everybody. Yay, Marc Yaffee. And without doubt, she's the queen of haiku. As I'm the king of haiku, it's Carla Ulbrich. And Steve, could you bring Carla Ulbrich right now up? Could you put her a spotlight, call it with me, add her to the spotlight, if you could. Steve, okay, here is Carla. Carla, since you are the queen of haiku,
yes,
I'm going to challenge you to do a haiku right now. And that haiku is the topic of crepes. All right, so go ahead, crepes.
Crepes?
Count the syllables.
I was not worried about this. Go. Okay. I'm eating a crepe. Why am I eating a crepe? Oh, are we doing this together or am I doing the whole thing?
He's just keeping score because that's
how I'm just doing syllables as you say them.
Okay. I'm eating a crepe. Why am I eating a crepe?
Because Brad said so.
There we go. A co-write.
That's right. There you go. Yay!
Hey, I want to do one too. Can I play?
Okay.
My dad hasn't arrived, but I just came up with a haiku. It's my dad's birthday.
It's my dad's birthday. Good.
He's even older than Brad.
He's even older than Brad. Good.
Happy birthday, Dad. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Dad. Oh, that's very good for him later. So,
of course,
well, you want to give me a topic? I'll try one real quick.
All right. Do one about salmon.
Salmon. They are only pink if they're not farmed. Yuck. Bad taste.
Oh, okay.
I love salmon dead. Okay, there you go. Hey, get everybody out of here.
Hey, wait a minute. My dad just arrived. My dad just arrived. Hang on a second. I'm gonna add him to this thing. Hold on a second.
Oh, good. Your dad's thrilled. There, it's Mr. Goodie's forehead, everybody.
Happy birthday, Mr. Goodie.
We've been doing We've been doing a haiku thing, and I did a haiku for you, and you weren't here yet, so I'm gonna do it again. It's my dad's birthday. He's even older than Brad. Happy birthday, Dad. All right, that's enough. Let's get back to Brad.
We're not singing happy birthday. Okay, get everybody out of here.
I'll sing happy birthday in a little bit.
Yeah, do it later to him and spank him and all that. So, hey, okay, here we go. Let's start with the jokes that I've selected just for you. But remember Bob Eubanks said the prizes on the newlyweds were selected just for the winning couples. Remember, these are selected just for you. And then it was like two hippies from Barstow, and they wanted an all-white living room set, and veal and like a biscone. Okay, so anyway, so with that in mind, here's the first joke. Woody Harrelson, everybody's friend, went on a rambling, idiotic rant about drug cartels taking over the media and selling vaccines so that you get addicted to 5G on your phone, then put on a mask during his SNL monologue. Did everybody see the big monologue? It was not funny, seemed scatological, and made little sense. It was called by critics the same as almost every other SNL monologue. And still 9,000 times funnier than Steven Seagal. Okay, next up. You never saw that show. That was rough, wasn't it? Okay. Rihanna. Always good to talk about Rihanna. Somebody has gas. Leave that to yourself. Rihanna generated 103 FCC complaints about her Super Bowl halftime show being too sexual, everybody. Ooh. How is a pregnant woman singing and showing off the gift of life offensive? Anybody? I mean, I think 100 conservative Karens would be celebrating that she's having the baby, right? Right? Hey, you know what? Next year, let's get Billie Eilish for the halftime show and have her sing her new song, the DNC Stomp. Anybody understand that? Well, somebody get the door. Okay. I have no idea why I picked Billie Eilish on that one. So, and by the way, you hire Rihanna, you get sexual, right? Everybody, that's like hiring Tony the Tiger and saying, keep that "it's great" crap to yourself. Okay. We're gonna have a problem this week. I can already feel it. Okay, here we go. By the way, we have a problem in America, and that is white people have way too much time in their hands to complain. I think that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, and I know the people answering the phones at the FCC are like thrilled to talk to Barb as she screams, "What am I going to tell my children?" That's the dumbest line. Tell them the truth, right? Everybody, say this. Well, what that woman was doing on TV is wrong because mama is what they call frigid. That's why Daddy says whenever I spread my legs, the heat kicks on. So that's why. Okay, that's an old joke.
Oh, dear.
Everybody remember that old joke? Okay. Wow, we're having a rough day today. I can feel it. Okay. I think it's the ship lag. It's the ship lag. The laughs are way behind. Mark, I'm sorry you were here this week. Here we go. Britney Spears was warned by animal control that she needs to keep her dogs inside as one of her Dobermans got loose and was roaming the neighborhood. And when the dog came up to an elderly man riding his bike, chased the man down. And when the man was forced to pull over, the dog bit him on the ankle. Sad. I was just trying to get away from that crazy bitch, said the dog.
Always keeping it classy.
That was good. Hey, you know what? This is funny. Last time, Mark, you were here, I did a joke about Native Americans, and now I'm doing it again. Isn't that funny? Because we did the Redskins. But listen to this. I just thought of this. Remember the Indian in the 70s, the crying Indian for pollution, everybody?
Yeah.
That was supposed to get people to stop littering because Iron Eyes Cody was his name, has one tear running down his cheek. And he's saying not to pollute. And I was like 8, right? We're all like 8 or 9. I love those ads. And I love Native Americans because of it. And I cried right along with him. Well, the PSA will be retired for good, everybody. Did you know that? Anybody know this?
No.
No. It has changed ownership. And the National Congress of American Indians now own the rights and will retire it from ever being shown again. The council said, and I agree, that the ad did serve a good purpose in the 70s, but now is kind of just the butt of jokes and memes. And then it's time to move on, which is great. So now we can concentrate on getting rid of the creepy, shirtless Old Spice guy. That guy I can smell from my TV. So, and I guess we all know this, that Iron Eyes Cody, the star of the ad, was a full-blooded Italian.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, he was. You didn't know that, Steve?
I did not know that. That's wacky stuff.
He played Native Americans his entire life, and he was full blood. He spent his career. He even changed his name to Iron Eyes Cody. He married a Native American woman named Bertha, and he adopted 2 sons of Dakota and Maricopa heritage. And I'm not sure. Did anybody get mad at him? Does anybody know? Mark, Carla, anybody get mad at him for doing all that?
No.
They did. There was no 23andMe at the time. He was getting away with it.
That's true. And then he died, and nobody cared. And I'm not sure. Well, there was somebody really angry. I don't know. They said, "How dare he?" Said Rachel Dolezal. None of you remember. One person remembers. Rachel. She was the one that was the head of the NAACP, and also was a teacher of African American studies, and then we found out she was white. Okay, I knew that one was going nowhere. Here we go. Now my favorite jokes of the week. Here we go. The big movie of the week, Cocaine Bear, right? A complicated story about a bear that does cocaine. Complicated. It's a big hit. Isn't that great? And of course, they're planning sequels. Meth Muskrat comes out soon. So now I'm going to go around the room. Steve, do you have a sequel? Steve, do you have a sequel for Cocaine Bear? What do you got?
Let's see. Brad on a Saturday night.
Oh! Meth Muskrat. What do you got? Come on, somebody. Carla, anybody have one? How about
Ecstasy Beaver.
Raccoon? Come on, something.
Heroin hyenas.
Heroin
Ecstasy
hyenas.
Beaver.
Fantastic.
Ecstasy Beaver.
Okay.
That's a different kind of movie.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. That movie you saw in the 70s with Ron Jeremy. Anyway, of course, now, did you know? I don't want to give you any spoilers if you haven't seen it. The scariest part of Cocaine Bear, the movie, is the suspenseful moment when they know the crazed bear is coming, when they hear waka, waka, waka. Is there like a 2-second lag?
Yeah, that was good.
Sitting here, I'm sitting in silence, and then I hear people.
Well, that totally made sense. The bear that's in showbiz is doing the cocaine. I like that.
That's right. By the way, the Cocaine Bear is from a true story. I don't know if you knew that. And it was from 1985. It's a true story about investigators searching for cocaine dropped by airborne drug smugglers. And the bear died from ingesting $2 million worth of cocaine. The actual bear didn't attack anyone. He just died. But before the bear died, he did clean 12 cabins in 13 minutes.
Pretty impressive.
And he got 37 texts that said, "Where are you at?" from Donald Trump Jr.
And he got it on.
By the way, that was a lie. And anybody that just did the math, we did not have cell phones in 1985, and Donald Trump Jr. wasn't contacting the bear because he was only a boy. He was young, and in 1985 he was only taking prep school amphetamines. So he was, although Don Jr. did have a statement about the bear. Now he said he ingested 2 million in coke and died. Lightweight. I wonder if that's it. I think that no. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, that's the last joke I wrote. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring Steve in and do the rest of the show. It's been 12 minutes.
That was great.
That was weird though, because there's literally a 4-second to me lag between the end of the joke and anybody responding. So I was like,
don't you worry.
Am I alone?
We'll get you all these laughs next week.
Yes, I'll take the video and I'll move them forward. Is what I'll do.
Fair. All right. Hey, it's time for this. Let's do this.
Let's do it. I can
Hi, well, who's talking now? What's going on? Hi, everybody. Happy birthday to my dad. Well, Dad is a Pisces, so happy birthday to all the Pisces out there. And while I was thinking about that, I don't know why I thought about Brad and I are both Scorpio, so that explains a lot about this show. I don't even know what that means. All right.
Got quite a sting.
It is the end of February, which means we're 2 months into this year, which means that if you made a New Year's resolution, it's long since forgotten. And so that's why tonight's top 10 category is top 10 New Year's resolutions that never had a chance. I don't know who you thought you were kidding. Let's just go. Number 10. Lose that last 1,400 pounds. Number 9. Convince Kid Rock fans that he isn't and he doesn't. Number 8. Stop inhaling paprika rectally. That one got weird. Sorry, I was hanging around with a cocaine bear when I came up with that one. Number 7. Stop peeing all over the floor and start using the litter box. Things are weird at my house. Number 6. Read the brochure more carefully before talking to all my friends about their cat's extended warranty. These are the top 10 New Year's resolutions that never had a chance. Number 5. Change the batteries in all my smoke detectors to be in compliance with the manufacturer's directive. And also get some smoke detectors. Number 4. Get Amy Schumer to write some non-vagina related jokes. Or one even.
Never.
Number 3. Convince everyone that Die Hard is also a Valentine movie, and a Lent movie, and a St. Patrick's Day movie, and an Arbor Day movie, and a Hanukkah movie, and also a Festivus movie. Number 2. Figure out how to get off every political fundraising email list, and also see 45 perp walk to Leavenworth, and also find a loaf of bread that costs less than $5. And the number 1 New Year's resolution that never had a chance. Buy a DeLorean, go back to 2009, get Taylor Swift to silence Kanye while she had a clear shot. Then go to 2015 and make Al Franken keep his job. Then go to December 22nd, 2022 when it got to -1 degrees here in Nashville and leave my faucets dripping for the love of crap. That's all I got to say about that.
All good plans. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, I think you.
Speaking of fantastic,
I'm excited. Speaking of fantastic, we have the Queen of Haiku.
I am not the Queen of Haiku. I am like a low duchess, maybe.
Well, you're the number 1
I
fan
taught a
of
haiku
haikus.
class all the way. I taught haiku classes all the way through the pandemic.
Really?
Did you?
Really?
Yeah, to students all over the world. I would teach poetry. You can use haiku is great because an economy of words. So I can also teach how to write a full speech while teaching about how to write a haiku. And because of 7575, it's just a thing. But
Okay.
it's my favorite kind of poetry.
Hi,
Yeah.
Carla.
Hey.
Hi, Carla.
You know the deal here. We're going to do a little intro. Then you're going to play a song. I have no idea what you're going to play. Then I got to answer it with a song somehow. And then you're going to do another one. Here we go.
It's our musical guest, gonna sing something funny and then Steve will play something in between. Our musical guest, it's time for our musical guest.
Carla Ulbrich, who may or may not be the Queen of Haiku.
Was that pre-recorded, the haiku?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were in on this haiku ambush.
No, I found reverb.
Oh.
Ooh.
Nice. All right. This is a world premiere of this song here.
Nice.
Ooh.
And I use the term song loosely because I'm not actually going to be singing. I'll be speaking. Before I was happily married, by the way, I dated a lot of people. There's a little bit about some of them. I wanted to date a plumber, but I just couldn't take the plunge.
Ooh.
So I dated a lawyer, briefly. Postman was nothing to write home about. And the lumberjack had an axe to grind. Garbage man dumped me. I thought my relationship with the cemetery groundskeeper was solid, but it turns out it wasn't etched in stone. That was a grave mistake that I shouldn't have undertaken.
Oh, man.
I was dating a NASCAR driver, but it felt like we were just going around in circles. I was gonna date a magazine editor. It just wasn't my type. So I decided to go out with a cartographer, but he didn't like my latitude. I was gonna marry a folk singer, but I decided, I like having a roof over my head. The professional bowler never had time to spare. And he couldn't get his mind out of the gutter. He wasn't up my alley, so I split. I dated a bowler. He was a bowler. I dated a boxer. Already dated the bowler, and then I dated a boxer. He was a total knockout. But the accordion player was my main squeeze. Trying to communicate with the dentist, that was like pulling teeth. So I tried dating a surgeon, but he didn't cut it. I was at this party and this guy told me he was a whale hunter. It wasn't true, but I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. When I found out the truth, I couldn't stop blubbering. The abstract poet broke up with me. There was no rhyme or reason. I tried dating a chef, but he had too much on his plate. And then I finally found a great guy. But I broke up with him because he had terrible taste in women.
Yeah. Wow.
World premiere.
That's tremendous.
What do we call that?
The dating song? I don't know.
I think it should be called Sideways Eric's Dream Song. Nobody likes puns more than Sideways Eric.
Oh.
All right, I think I got a good answer to this one because for several reasons. I wrote it with my friend Carly Driftwood several years ago, and she's the one who sings it. It's from a female perspective. So there you go. It's got something in common, female perspective. Also, it's about dating. And also, I don't know how to sing it, so let's just see how this goes.
What was that? Was that a little dig there?
No, it's spoken. It's spoken. It's kind of spoken. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
I was doing some dumpster diving when I heard the couple across the way fighting. I ducked down so they wouldn't know I heard when apparently she got the last word. I think she stabbed him. Well, she tagged him and bagged him and dragged him outside, heaved him in the dumpster to gather flies. Now with all the Slim Jims and bottles of brew, suddenly this dumpster had seating for two. He was dead, and I held his hand. Couldn't believe she walked away from this perfect man. I've been single for so long, and damn it, this was my chance. He ain't breathing, but he's all mine. Room for improvement, but otherwise he's fine. She got the best years of his life, and I got eternity. No, he ain't breathing, but he's everything to me. I'm going to go on before it gets filthy, but I don't think the second verse is filthy, so I'm going to do just a little bit more. And then we'll stop in the interest of good taste. I make him dinner. He's never late. He loves my cooking, though he can't masticate. That's a fancy word for chewing, which he ain't really doing because his face is stuck. Eat them taters, baby. Open up for the airplane. He's my snuggle buddy. We hold cold hands as we watch Frozen over and over again. My parents hate him. They blow up my phone, but he's my... Okay, I'm going to stop there. It gets gross. All right. That was fun. Back to Carla.
Okay. That was really out there. I like that. I wasn't gonna do this one, but okay, here's another premiere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Well, I can think of some reasons why not. Since we're on the topic of dating, this was the worst date night ever, and not because of my date. We went to see a movie, and it was really clearly by far the worst movie I'd ever seen, and it was I was really mad. It was bad. It takes a lot to make me walk out of a movie. I mean, I want to be entertained. The other night, we saw something so awful, it made Sharknado 3 look like Citizen Kane. Worst movie ever. I didn't like it one bit. Worst movie ever. What a piece of work. If George Washington had known this was the future, he would have accepted defeat. If this were an in-flight movie, I would have walked out at 10,000 feet. The fourth grade was doing Shakespeare. This was still the worst thing in town. I spliced my jeans and grew another hand just so I could give it 3 thumbs down. Worst movie ever. Lord, why did we go? Worst movie ever. The Razzies were like, no. This horrible film replayed in my head long after the fade to black. I spent 10 years working on a time machine just to get those 2 hours of my life back. Worst movie ever. That's why I walked out. Worst movie ever, but it's what I can't stop talking about.
Yay! Carla Ulbrich, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure Brad will be joining us in just a moment.
Man.
Carla, it is always the best when you
is-
join us. Thank you very much. Where can
Thank
we
you for
find you
having
singing?
me.
Where can we find you live or online singing and playing your goofy stuff?
Oh, let's see. I've got I'm gonna put a link tree in here that has all my socials, but you can also find me on carlau.com.
Oh yeah, it says it right there. I'm looking right at it. carlau.com.
Link tree. There's a link. The link. If you go to the link tree, it has all these buttons where you can just go to, TikTok or whatever, or Facebook or whatever your favorite
Neat.
online platform.
Fantastic.
Where can we see your
Thank you
haikus?
so much.
My haikus, you know what? I'm collecting them, but I put them on Facebook usually.
I see them.
I've got another haiku for you. It goes like this. Carla
Go.
does haikus, but not all the freaking time. Brad, please let it go.
Love haikus.
Yeah.
All right.
That
Well,
was
let's
great.
let Carla go then.
Okay. Bye, Carla. Thank you very much.
Bye.
And oh man,
That's oh my gosh. I can find him. Here
Okay.
we go. There
one
he
would
is.
think it can't get any
it's
better
Marc
than that, but
Yaffee!
we've got Marc Yaffee. That's unbelievable. Kindly unmute yourself, Mark.
There, he's unmuted. Hi, Mark.
I think I'm unmuted now.
Oh, there
Let's
you
see
are.
how this goes. I'm at my
Yes.
93-year-old mother's apartment.
Wow.
She has just a little touch of the dementia, so there could be some interruptions. But
Okay.
I can't wait. Okay.
It'll
Well,
just be a normal
intro
show
it
for
and
might
us.
make,
set.
it might make the show a lot better.
Yeah. All right. Here's an intro,
All right.
and then you do 10 minutes of awesome.
It's time for our big headliner. Got some funny jokes to say. Oh, do a 10-minute set headliner. Man, I'm so glad that it's Monday. Yeah.
Marc Yaffee.
Oh man, thanks guys. Great to be back. Last time I was here was the peak of COVID. You might remember, Brad. You guys,
Yeah.
and Steve, were just keeping the spirits up and making people laugh in a real dark time. That COVID, that was exhausting. Even if you didn't get the virus, it was exhausting. COVID was kind of like being Catholic when you hadn't been to church for like 10 years and you showed up and like, what's going on here? Do we stand? Do we kneel? Well, they changed the prayer. What do we do now? It's like time for the sign of peace. Is it a handshake, a fist bump, high five? What are we doing? Of course, we had to survive all the variants too, the smorgasbord of variants, right? The Alpha, the Delta, the Omicron. I thought Omicron was that Star Wars convention where those nerds dressed up as Chewbacca. And you guys might remember, peak of Omicron was about Christmas 2021, and the whole country, almost every store in the country was sold out of home COVID test kits. You couldn't find a home COVID test. I finally found one at the dollar store. It came back positive I was pregnant. And then, Brad, you might, if you probably did a little traveling during the pandemic, if you wanted to fly out of the country, you had to take a rapid antigen test. I was at Salt Lake City Airport. They wanted $175 for the rapid antigen test. There was a family of 5 behind me. That father heard that price. He goes, "Oh, we'll take 1 swab, please." All right, kids, swirl and pass, swirl and pass. If one of us has it, we all have it. The people that kind of bothered me during COVID were like the Instagram influencers and the beach celebrities out frolicking around, pretending nothing was wrong, right? They'd be at some beach posing, "Oh, living my best life." Well, good for you. During COVID, I was pretty much phoning it in. Literally every day I was phoning into the unemployment office trying to get benefits. If COVID was as hard to get as unemployment, the pandemic would have been over faster than Herschel Walker could spell ivermectin. Everybody suffered through the pandemic. You think about that, the individuals and businesses. 40 Forever 21s got Forever 86 during COVID. And they closed 65 J.C. Penney's. They said as many as 19 customers could have been affected. Did you guys know half the Kmarts in America shut down during COVID? Half. Yeah, they went from 4 to 2. Who would have thought 2 Kmarts left in America? Remember, we were growing up, Kmart was Walmart and Target, Best Buy combined. Now there's 2 Walmarts, 2 Kmarts. How sad is that? You walk into a Kmart now, the announcement you hear is "Attention Kmart shopper." So only one business was really prepared for the COVID. Really, only one. Home Depot. Yeah, because their employees have been socially distancing for decades. Yeah. So as we know, live comedy went downhill. Once my unemployment riches dried up, I went from working cruise ships and casinos to delivering Del Taco to shut-in stoners. Yeah. Food delivery driver right here. Yeah. I got paid to play Ding Dong Ditch. I'd run up to someone's door, ring the bell, leave a pile of crap, run off. That's crazy. I think food delivery is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. We used to be considered lazy if we used the drive-through at the Arby's and McDonald's. Now we pay strangers to pick up our food at the drive-through at the Arby's or McDonald's. Americans, we're the only people on the planet will pay $17 for a $3 burger so we don't miss 1 minute of The Voice. And you know that food delivery drivers got reclassified as essential workers, essential to the COVID war effort. In World War II, an essential workers like Rosie the Riveter building B-29 bombers, Marvin the Merchant Marine dodging German U-boats across the Atlantic. During COVID, an essential worker was Eric the Incel delivering chicken fingers in a PT Cruiser. I felt bad for the parents, the elders, and the youngsters, because I realized the young kids that suffered missing school and the elders. And they said, as soon as kids came back to school, test scores plummeted when they came right back after COVID. Of course they plummeted. They were socially distanced. There was no way to cheat off the smart kids. Oh my goodness. And I watched way too much news during the pandemic. I really, just as depressing to me as the news were the commercials during cable or network news, because every commercial now is some pill with a rock anthem that I grew up on. It's now the soundtrack for this medication, right? Like, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, ask if Cialis might be right for you. Taking care of business every day. Taking care of business. My ED's gone away. And I'm not a big pill or pharma guy, virtual comedy folks, but you notice every time a life-saving medication comes on the market, like 6 weeks later, there's a class action lawsuit against that manufacturer. Like, if you took Survivex and suffered dry eyes, runny nose, or rectal itching, you may be entitled to compensation. I'm like, yeah, I got compensation. I lived. Right? I'll take itchy ass over cardiac arrest. This is America, right? Anyone will sue anybody over anything now. If you ate Raisin Bran between February 2012 and August 2021, you may not have received the 2 full scoops of advertised raisins. Our attorneys are standing by. If you ate at a Red Robin restaurant during their Cheesy Tuesdays promotion and were not offered bottomless queso breadsticks, your civil rights may have been violated. Our attorneys want to speak to you. If you or a loved one suffered traumatic brain injury from too many Camp Lejeune toxic wastewater commercials, we are all entitled to compensation. I really felt, and I kind of lost that. I'm sorry I didn't pay attention when we started. So somebody can always wave at me when we need to wrap up. You know that what really made me feel old, the COVID, beside the aging process of the stress of COVID, is Eminem, the rapper Eminem turned 50. Eminem. Some of the old school rappers from the 70s and 80s are now in their 70s and 80s. And you can't have that hard gangster rap name when you're pushing 85, 90, right? When he turns 85, 90, and Eminem is going to have to be downgraded to Enema. That's what Ice Cube, Warm Puddle. And P. Diddy will be like, did he pee?
Funny.
Yeah, the COVID though really highlighted the great political divide in America, because really we had 2 COVIDs in America. You know, we had red state COVID and blue state COVID. Blue state COVID was the worst pandemic to hit the planet since the Black Plague of the 13th century, and red state COVID was the worst hoax since Milli Vanilli. Blue state COVID, the lockdowns went on for weeks and months. Red state COVID lockdowns lasted maybe 3-4 happy hours. You guys, if you wanted to dine out at the peak of COVID in a blue state, they made you eat up at a top of a 4th-story open-air parking garage a mile from your restaurant. They hooked you up to an IV, fed you intravenously so you wouldn't open your mouth and chew. If you were in a red state, Florida or Texas, you had to eat inside. They made you lick the menu and share utensils. That's proof you weren't a COVID co-conspirator. In blue states, people wear masks to Zoom meetings. Uh-oh. Did I shut off?
I just had
One
to
laughed
think
at that joke. That's why. Okay. Blue state, people wear masks to Zoom meetings. Red state, people showed up at Sam's Club, no mask or pants. I'll wrap up with this. The airlines, if you flew during COVID, that was like Air UFC. You had drunk people fighting over masks and politics and seat assignments. That was just the pilots. And, you know, you remember back at the peak of COVID, people were getting in brawls on the plane, attacking fellow passengers and flight attendants and diverting flights, and they're making emergency landings. Finally, the airline said, no more, we're not doing it. They stopped landing and kicking the crazy people off the plane. They came up with a secret weapon to subdue rowdy passengers, that secret weapon, duct tape, started duct taping passengers to their seat. That is cruel, unusual, and brilliant. I brought an extra roll just in case. I'm like, I got an important gig in Pensacola, Florida at the Ha Ha Tata's Comedy Strip Club, and I'm not missing out because Air Rage Alex didn't get enough pretzels. I didn't know they had duct tape inside the plane. I knew Spirit Airlines had duct tape on the outside of the plane. You guys, thanks a lot.
Marc Yaffee!
Yeah.
Hey, want to hear something funny, Brad?
Yeah.
3 years into this, I finally figured out how to give someone the light. If we need to, I could have just done that.
Yeah, finally.
We could have put us out of our misery minutes ago.
No, I want you to keep going. I just
What the hell are you doing?
didn't even
That
occur
was
to me
amazing.
that would ever be needed. That was great, Mark. Where can we find you?
So where are
performing
you
live?
working?
Let's see. I just got back from a little road gig in Arizona, Southern California. Next, I'll be on a Holland America cruise ship. If you guys want to come down with me to Fort Lauderdale and cruise around the Caribbean,
Nice.
go to Panama and all that good stuff. And then back on land at the end of the month, I will be in beautiful Elko, Nevada at the Stage Door, 24th, 25th, I think it is. And then the following weekend at Jokers in Tri-Cities.
Very cool.
And also, by the way, who's booking Jokers now?
It is now Comedy West, Pat Wilson.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to call her because I always worked for Tribble, and I'd like to go back up there. Hey, and also, Mark has an amazing dry bar out. I think your dry bar is one of the best that they've ever made. So go to drybar.com but when you sign up, use the code Brad Tassell. Okay.
Well, thank you, Mark. That
All
was
right,
fantastic.
thank you so much.
See you
Man.
guys.
That was fantastic.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, can you find him?
Well, I brought in
Hey,
Patti.
wait, I can't. I gotta find Mark. Okay.
He's right in front of
Yay,
you.
there. Bye. Thank you, Mark. It's Patti, everybody.
Patti. It's Greg Giraldo's 7th favorite female comedian.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. It's time for Patty Melt. Let's do this thing.
It's time for a Patty Melt with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, to folks refusing to wear masks, says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses. She's melting down. It's a Patti Vasquez Patty Melt. He's number 7.
I don't know how many of you know this, but in Chicago, we are, this is election eve, and this might be a surprise, but I'm a bit of a politics dork. I'm wearing my Obama shirt from 2012.
I'm shocked.
I know. You don't realize, you think you know, but during the Iran-Contra hearings, when I was in grade school, I would race home to catch the hearings. Okay, that's how much of a dork I am.
Wow.
Yeah, 6th grader running home. I got to see Ollie North raising his hand on the Bible, swearing to tell the truth. And he didn't. I'm just saying. I could tell. So we are in the midst of a mayoral election. There are 9 candidates. The last time we had an election in 2019, there were 11. And the woman who won, Lori Lightfoot, 3 weeks before the election was polling at 3%. So everyone's like, this time they're like, oh, Chewy Garcia's got 18% and all, like doing all the numbers. And what we're learning is that if you're the only white guy running in Chicago, you've got a good shot at being the mayor of Chicago. We're fine. We're totally fine. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's really, really fun. And here's a guy who, by the way, Paul Vallis, used to be our CEO of the Chicago Public Schools, opened more charter schools than at any period in our history. It's fine. I'm sure it'll be great. And also the fact that he was appearing at events that were anti-trans, and he also like really racist tweets, and he said that someone hacked his Twitter account. I mean, if you can't run your own Twitter account, by all means, please run the city of Chicago. We're so excited about that. Yay! Be racist and homophobic. We're fine. That's what's happening right now in Chicago. That's all I'm telling you. I'm fine. So we're pretty sure we're gonna have a runoff because we don't have ranked choice voting. Because that's complicated. It's like a word problem. I don't know. If I like one person, I don't like the other person. Maybe the other. Here's what I'm telling you is, please, wherever you are, beg them for ranked choice voting. Otherwise, you have special elections, you have runoffs, and you will be miserable. And look, Lori Lightfoot checked all the boxes in 2019. Progressive, gay, Black woman. We were all like, yes, rah. And she doesn't get along with anyone. That's fun. And
that's right.
She doesn't. No, she doesn't. And again, the other thing I'm going to ask you, when you are voting for your, whatever it is, especially the executive offices, mayors, governors, presidents, please don't go with anyone who has never run for elected office before, because they're like, I'm really good at business. I'm a really good prosecutor. I could do this because I'm a jerk. And that's how I make my money. That's all I'm saying. But what has been really hard during this election is finding out that I cannot follow my own son's Twitter account. So just because I can follow him doesn't mean I should. So Griffin messaged us one night. He's 19 years old, for those of you who don't know. So he messaged us and he was like, hey, I just got blocked by one of the candidates for mayor, which is Jamal Green, very young candidate. But Griffin sent us the screenshot. I was like, oh, that's his Twitter handle? Okay. So I followed him, and I can't use the language that he uses. Like, it's a lot. But anyway, I tweeted about Jamal Green blocking him, not realizing that I have a radio show and that might catch a candidate's attention. So the candidate slid into my DMs. He's like, who's your son? Yeah, I'm not telling you who my son is. Like, I tweeted out that this candidate blocked him, and he was like, tell me who he is. Tell me what I should say. I'm like, no. You did your thing. You pissed off my son. But I love that my 19-year-old is guiding a candidate for mayor of Chicago. Like, was it me? How can I fix it? Let me fix it. So the other thing I'm saying is, if you want to run for mayor of Chicago, don't tick off my son.
Yay! Words to live by from Patti Vasquez.
Also,
go get him, Griffin.
Also, don't tick me off. You know what I didn't do? I didn't do Dilbert. I was going to do that too.
Oh,
I'm
man.
sorry.
God, he's an idiot.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
No, look, I'm great at burning bridges. I think we can all assume that, right? You can all assume that I'm really good at seeing a wobbly bridge that was built for like the Civil War. And I'm like, that should go. I will bring some kerosene and a flamethrower. But this Dilbert guy who wrote cartoons about how hard it is to be a white guy in the workplace is now like, move away from Black people. Yeah, that's the problem. Not that you're a jerk. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Patti Vasquez.
Patti. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Where are you, Patti? Wait, I gotta find you.
Right here. I didn't go anywhere.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Now you did.
Bye, Patti.
He's smooth, ain't he?
All right.
Did I swear? I didn't swear, right?
What,
You're
Brad?
fired. WGN called.
Okay.
Making friends wherever he goes. That's Brad Tassell. All right. Hey, guess I think it's time for another dumb song.
Yes.
I'm going to do this thing.
Yep.
How about another dumb song from Steve for no reason?
And as I pointed out earlier, if you were here
I
earlier,
made it by mistake. I'm sorry.
what's going on?
Okay.
If you keep on swinging, I'm gonna have to keep coming in here to help you swing it back up.
Wait, boop. I got it. I
Okay.
got it. I got it.
That was interesting.
We got it.
All right. It's my dad's birthday today. And for his birthday, I've written him a song. And he's never heard this. And neither of you. And neither have I. And neither is Bob. So this song tells a little anecdote that's big memory for me when I was a kid. And my dad was involved in it. So let's just do this. Well, my dad made a living selling dental supplies. So with that in mind, it should be no surprise that all his friends were dentists. So I had a different dentist every year because Dad wanted to give everyone a try. So knowing that I'd never see each one ever again, I'd eat a box of Oreos just before I arrived. Just kidding, I never did that. And one dentist became Dad's best friend. He invited Dad to watch while he worked. His name was Rich and he played a little game because Rich liked to be a jerk. Everybody, yes, Rich liked to be a jerk. He'd take the water gun that they used to rinse and he'd squirt a little stream into my mouth. Then while the water flowed, he'd back up across the office where my dad was in the doorway. And they had a good laugh at my expense as I gurgled and I choked. while an 8-foot arc of water poured into my face. Oh, what a clever, clever joke to play on a 15-year-old who already had issues. Panning down. Well, then old Rich, having had enough, he slowly came back to the chair. And as he stood before me, the water finally stopped. And I spit a mouthful right on the crotch of his pants. His pants. It looked like old Rich had peed his pants. And he was wearing khaki, so it showed a bunch. And my dad laughed so hard he nearly lost his lunch. And that's the birthday story that I wanted to share about how old Rich, that son of a gun, got squirted from his own dental chair. Hey! How did Rich get squirted from his own dental chair?
That's right. Fantastic.
Why,
Fantastic.
thanks.
Okay.
All right, hey, it's time for Brad to beg for money.
Brad begs for money. Hey, we need your money. We don't charge a cover for a 2-drink minimum, so what did you expect, Jack?
Hi, everybody. I'm Brad Tassell. If you can still hear me, I'm losing this a little bit. Go to virtualcomedyshow.com and click donate to the comedians. First of all, we've learned Steve needs therapy. Send money for a counselor for Steve. Number 2, we found out that our headliner, Marc Yaffee, wants to do a class action suit against, I forgot what I was going to say, a class action suit against. No, I was going to say, I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was because he wasn't getting enough breadsticks. It was, I can't remember.
And Brad needs to double up on the medication, and that ain't cheap.
I need to get some memory medication. Also, we need to get Patti some money so she can get her son into the witness protection program against candidates. So, and we want to send Carla to haiku school. So please go to virtualcomedyshow.com and click donate to the comedians, and we will give all the comedians all the money. And Steve and I count that too. So, all right, that's what we're going to do. Let's do it. Let's finish it up.
Time for the worst joke of the week.
Worst joke. Worst joke. Worst joke. Worst joke.
Boo! That was the worst joke ever.
So the worst joke, Dilbert cartoon creator, as you know, Scott Adams, has been dropped from hundreds of newspapers after the cartoonist went on a racist rant that white people have to avoid. And he said, Patti, all effing black people. They must avoid all of them because every person of color is racist against white people for being successful. And he's lost almost all of his papers at this point. He's very mad, but he will make a comeback. He says his new strip will be huge because he's getting rid of Dilbert, and it's going to be called Kanye.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, that was the virtual comedy show. We learned a lot of stuff we didn't need to know, like the fact that Brad and Steve are both Scorpios. That's what you get when you watch this show. Fascinating, isn't it? We have a lot of fun at the virtual comedy show. It's better than sitting home playing with your toes or going to the dump to watch stuff decompose. Keep coming back to the virtual comedy show. We hope you enjoy the virtual comedy show. You don't have to dress up, no, 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 no. You can be like Brad and go commando. Every Monday it's the virtual comedy show. See you Monday at the virtual comedy show. It's at www.virtualcomedyshow.com. That's right.